Beep, 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 beep.
Our daughter
Did you stop?
be in the woods
I just
with
pressed
a
record so I
bear
can edit.
or a
What are you
man?
doing?
Something real stupid.
That's
I
Something
alright.
fucking dumb. Could you?
I would say man.
No, let's go from the top.
It doesn't matter, I cut
Why?
it.
Would you rather our daughter be in the woods with a bear or a man?
I would say a man,
Why?
because I could be that man.
No, not
What's
you,
the-
a stranger.
Okay, someone I don't know
Yeah.
versus a brown bear.
Why does it have to be a brown bear?
I'm just assuming that's whether black bear, brown bear.
Just a bear, Kenny.
I think I would still say man.
Really? You want our 13-year-old daughter to be?
If I found a 13-year-old in the woods, I would be like, okay, let me try and help you to safety.
Aw, that's really cute.
And a bear would be like, "Rawr, I'm gonna eat you." The odds are better with the man. Like the odds are better with
I
the
don't know
man.
if that's true. I think you're just assuming that all men are like you.
No, we'll just take like 10 people, line up 10 men,
Oh, this is not going well.
and then say 6 out of the 10 men are good. Those are better odds than one bear,
How
like
do you know
leaving
that-
my child with a bear. What is the bear gonna? The bear can't feed the child. The bear will eat the child.
And what might the man do to the child?
Hopefully, read stories, pass the time, and get them to safety. Walk upstream. Bears will just take you to their stream, and you just watch them like eat food and stuff. Or, like I said, the bear would like maul the child.
What if the man mauls the child?
Look, I got a D in stats in college, so I'm just trying to weigh my options here. The bear, it's not like Homeward Bound. Like, a bear will kill you.
The man might kill you.
Yes, everything might kill you, but like, what is she gonna do? Jump up in a tree and the bear's like trying to get her while like a random man. Maybe the man's lost too and they can help each other out. Now, if the man was living in the woods and wanted to be away for some reason, then that would be suspect. But if they're both like lost and they need to find a safe haven, the man has arms and legs. The bear, bears also have that, but they can't like articulate.
Here's a shovel for
Okay.
your hole.
So wait. No, I want to ask you the
The
question.
comment section is going to have a lot
No,
of
no,
fun
no.
with you.
Wait, this is ridiculous because so you would want our 13-year-old daughter alone with a bear in the woods?
Yes. Rather than a man.
Okay. Are you saying like we're going to find her within like 10 hours?
You are really honing on the specifics.
I am trying to find the best situation for her to survive. The bear's not going to like keep her safe unless it's a really cool
That
bear. Which
man
would be...
may also do the
Yes, but,
opposite
like-
of keeping her safe.
No, that's true, but there's better odds that the
Okay.
man will take her to
Oh,
safety.
you are so sheltered and
But
cute.
the bear can't talk.
This is sad.
If we can communicate with the bear, if she could
Okay,
communicate with the
Dr.
bear.
Doolittle, that's an affect you.
I just think I think if you ask like 10 other people, they would say 9 out of 10 would say the man.
So, wait, what?
People would pick the man over the bear.
No, that's
so
incorrect.
More than not.
The internet says otherwise.
So there's videos of this that people pick the bear?
Everybody picked the bear.
If it was a gorilla.
That's okay though. Like it's just.
So she lied. I checked her comment section. It wasn't.
Yeah, of course.
So basically, the reason I was doing this video is that I went to check the channel, right? Just to check the stats. All the likes on that channel are like 100%. Everyone likes all the videos. This one video in particular had 23% likes. The rest was all dislikes. So I was like, oh, because I don't really check the channel. I came back to see a swarm of women in the comments section, basically saying that I'm an incel. I've got this all wrong. It's really funny that you're so trusting of men, this, that, and the other. Do you want to see some of their comments?
Yeah, sure.
So you've got this one here, that this debate is pretty simple. The bear is safer. Now get over and move on unless you actually take the time to understand why the choice of the bear is being picked. Why would you want a little girl in the woods with a random man? It's not the question. We obviously don't want her in that situation. Yeah,
I
but
don't want anyone alone in the woods. I don't think anyone
Yeah.
wants to be alone in the woods.
Exactly.
Period. It doesn't matter who the.
yeah,
Who's
it's,
there?
it's a hypothetical for the
Is
dumbass
there-
to ask that question.
silly hypothetical.
Yeah, but no one would ask the daughter what she was wearing if she got attacked by a bear. Got nothing to do with survival. Bear or a man. With a bear, you will die, be eaten. That is the end. A man who brings death to someone, let alone a child, is far worse. It's not all men. It's not, but the entire point of the argument is women would rather die to a bear than suffer through what bad men would do. That's not the point. She asked, would you rather your daughter be in the woods or not? You weren't listening. It's bad men who women must fear. If you really care about the argument, become a man. A woman would choose over a bear. So a lot of people are not listening. Basically, they're putting themselves in the situation rather than their kid.
Yeah.
We can discuss both sides. I don't mind discussing if you would rather be there, but the point of the TikTok was your daughter. So I've asked this question now after coming back here after 2 months and seeing this. I've asked the question to everyone on my Twitter, everyone I can get a hold of, people on my Instagram. There's only one guy that said bear. All the other men said they would choose the man. And every single woman said they would choose the bear. So before I give my take on this,
Every single woman chose the bear.
Every single one chose. Apart from there's one girl in the comment section that didn't. She said and mum didn't choose the bear either. Other than that, I think you chose the bear as well. And I can't remember what you chose.
I refuse to answer a dumb question.
Let's just engage the hypothetical. Because let's just say that your
No, because for me, this is a charged question. It's, I think, made specifically to create an emotional response in the people that fear men, aka women, and against men who would look at the question more logically and say, absolutely not. You would not leave your child or baby, in the presence of a wild animal. So I don't know. It just seems like a bit of a stupid question to ask because as women, I can understand emotionally we are kind of told to be afraid of men by like every avenue, whether it be on the news 24/7, strange man, R words, blah, 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 there's always something. And I feel like it just, what's the word I'm looking for? It just reinforces the idea that men are the most dangerous thing to you women. And I think when you have that as a constant, or you being told that from when you are a little girl, you're going to grow up knowing or feeling like your biggest danger is a man, a strange man.
Nowadays, the way men are portrayed.
They're very demonized.
So instantly, when you asked me that question, I was like, I'd rather be with a bear because I thought the worst of men.
That's exactly it.
I didn't think of all the other options. Like, okay, maybe this guy is gonna help me, maybe he's just a normal person.
Like
I
an
just
average
thought
dude,
instantly, he might rape me, or he might like commit mass murder
You
right
think
here.
the worst of the worst because you've been conditioned to see the worst examples. Like, you're not going to think, the question in itself is not a ravenous, blood-hungry, like bloodthirsty bear versus a rapist, It's the average bear versus the average man. And if it was the average man and that was stated, so I'd pick the average man. You would, just because, like the man said in that video, a human is more than likely going to have that empathy to take your child, to ask the right questions, and take that child to safety. A bear doesn't really necessarily have that instinct. That's not to say that there aren't like instances of feral children, I don't know, that've been raised by wild animals. You never know. Like,
so my problem with this question is that every single woman that I've spoken to about this has said that this is going to elicit an emotional reaction. But the information that I'm fed on the news is the same information that you guys are fed. There are guys that are bigger than me and stronger than me that can get a hold of me and do whatever they want if they tried. Like, my strength might be higher than you guys, but I might come across someone that is built, is twice my size. My strength would be comparable to you guys against this guy. So I could also be left with a random, let's say, gay, violent stranger who wants to attack me. And we're taught, growing up, that our biggest danger are the men. My biggest danger is another man. Me being a man is irrelevant in that situation because there's bad men out there that will bring harm to me. Men are the biggest victim of other crime against men, right?
That's disproportionate.
Violence.
You're talking violence, but when it comes to sexual harm...
No, I'm not talking about sexual, I'm talking about violence.
When we're talking about levels of, harm that you can commit on a person, kind of not having that as your prevalent fear is a fucking privilege, with respect. I don't have, and Chelsea does not have that privilege. When you say, you know, I see a man and there's a chance that man could be, you know, 5 times stronger than me, you're absolutely right. Think about us in that situation. You're stronger than us, let alone the guy that's like twice as strong as you. We are more than likely, every single man that we come across is likely to be stronger than us. So of course our level of fear is going to be far higher, and our level of caution is far higher than you, for example, a gym going man who is confident in his physique and confident in the way that he carries himself. You know, not everybody is like that, especially when you have such a disproportionate strength level.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, but why, like, we're talking about a bear and a man, right? So when everybody looks at this situation, I don't think that you guys are emotionally unstable. So when you hear information, regardless of circumstance, you should be able to listen to that information and not just have an emotional outburst. I'm not saying you two had that, but some people online did. I know that if I go to Peckham, for example, and I'm walking around at night time and I get spotted by people, we know what Peckham's like. We're going to be in big trouble. But if someone told me that we can drop you off in Peckham with the level of crime that there is there now, let's say there's no police presence either, which there isn't really anyway. Or the same amount of people that are there committing the crime, we're going to swap them out with bears. I'm going to choose the men. There's no scenario on this planet where you would tell me we're going to swap them out with a bear that I'm going to say, yeah, the bear's the better alternative.
But is that the question?
Well, the question's been skewed, first of all, because everybody's forgetting that it's the daughter in the situation. Everybody's talking about themselves. If someone called me and said, your little girl's going to get dropped off with a bear, and they said to me, it's going to be a random man or a bear, I know that the average man is not going to do harm to the little child.
They didn't say average, though. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Because it's random, I would say that the chances of you getting somebody that can be reasoned with or is not going to hurt the child is higher, because bears can't be reasoned with. It's a flat zero. There's no reasoning to be had. So the bear's going to get hungry at some point. The bear's going to go looking for your kid.
How do you know? Like, this is, once again, I think it's conflating logic a little bit, because you're saying this is a bloodthirsty bear. Its instinct is to hunt children, and that's absolutely not true.
No, I'm not saying it's a bloodthirsty bear.
That's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying, you're saying that, and it's going to go, and it's going to get hungry, and it's going to hunt your kid. It's in its natural environment. It has its pick of places that it hunts. It knows where to go get food if it's hungry. It knows where it goes to sleep. You are essentially, every single time someone hikes in the woods, right, you're invading their personal space, but they, for the most part, leave humans alone. They don't want to be involved with humans. That is a known fact. They will more likely ignore you and try to avoid you at all costs, unless, for example, it's a fight or flight situation where you've caught it off guard, or it's with its cubs. You know, you that's not the situation at all. The question is, would you rather leave your child with a bear? In fact, it's not even that. Would you rather leave your child alone in the woods, and would they rather encounter a man or a bear? And obviously, if you're encountering something, I think I still would say I'd rather them encounter a man. I don't know if that's... I can understand the logic of wanting to pick the bear if it's just the average bear and you think it's going to leave you alone, on average. Do you see what I mean? That's where I understand the logic.
Yeah.
But if you're saying I'm encountering a bear, like we've locked eyes, it's face to face, I don't know how I fancy my chances. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think in that way, I feel like the way that the question is framed is almost framed as a gotcha, to be like, let's find all the women who distrust men. And it's like, oh fuck, it's all of them, you know. And I think that is the bigger fucking point that we've actually found out.
Her framing of the question.
Agreed. But what I'm saying is the findings that have come from that is, unfortunately, that there's clearly a societal problem in that women do fear men disproportionately, maybe even unrightly so.
Yeah, but you could also make the argument for Muslims, for black people, for how they portray us in the media. Whenever we hear about men, or whenever we hear about anything really in the news, it's bad things. Now, most of the time in our society, the extreme bad is usually the man, but the extreme good is also usually the man. The reason that most societies live in peace is because of men, and most of the time when they break out into war is also because of men. But the problem is that when you have these discussions, they focus on the hyper bad not realizing that most of the peace that we have around us is because of guys.
That's also not fair, considering women have not had a prevalent, like, or been able to really be included in that for the last, like, 70 years.
That's true, they haven't,
You know,
but the
we've not had
reality
the
is...
chance to have the exact same amount of impact that
That's
men
true.
have had. So I don't like saying, oh, you know, you can blame it, you can blame all the bad stuff, but you can also contribute all the good, because that's actually not true as well. There's like so many instances where inventions were taken from women and the accolades were given to men simply because it was really looked down upon for a woman to be good or better than a man in
No, I'm not
certain
talking
times.
about like inventions or
I'm just
being
saying
a
things
good
that
person.
things that made the world exponentially better. I think when you are saying we men are the proponents of peace and we are the bringers of peace and the bringers of war, I think that yes, because you are in a position and have historically only been the ones in a position to make those decisions, right? But when you say contributions to the good of the world, that's absolutely a collective, because we weren't excluded from things like education, creating things, but we were excluded from taking the prizes for them.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about any of those things. I'm dealing with the realities of the situation. When world wars break out, it's usually a dude that started it. When they are settled, it's usually men that will fight
Because
for it.
men stated that
I'm
women
not, I'm not
can't
saying
couldn't
you're not
provide.
understanding.
couldn't.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. I'm not saying you haven't been excluded.
I understand what you're
I'm
trying
saying
to
that
say.
the reality of the
Yes.
situation is that is just how it's always
Because
been.
you created it that way.
Yeah,
You
but
were
if it
living
was-
in your reality.
But you live in our reality.
Because that's the way that you've created it. We've just stated that we've not really had
Yeah,
a
but
chance to have any
but if
impact
you
in the
guys
last
did,
7 years.
yeah, but if you guys were given opportunities, you'd probably do exactly what men did. You'd probably be the extreme goods and the extreme evils.
I'm absolutely sure that you're right.
Yeah, so I'm just dealing with the reality, what actually exists. I'm not saying that it's not right that you were excluded from stuff or that women shouldn't be excluded.
I'm not saying that you're saying that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that when you're saying we are the bringers of peace and the bringers of war,
Yeah.
you're also the bringers of fear. So that the consequences
100%.
that you essentially, when you create an action or when you do an action, it creates a consequence. And unfortunately, a huge consequence of a lot of the actions that men take is that women begin to fear them. And that is exactly what we're living now.
But we also fear other men attacking us.
Rightly so.
Logically speaking, if you told me your kid's getting left with, you know, if you could forget the bear example because the bear's a killing machine. So you can put any animal in there that's really powerful, a gorilla, a velociraptor. Even though I know that most of the time when I felt fear, no, as a matter of fact, all of the time, I've never felt fear against a woman. When I felt fear, it's been a man. Logically speaking, I would still say myself, my mom, my daughter, I'm still going to take the man because I know even though men are the bringers of fear, they're also the bringers of peace as well. So if I look at the odds there, I'm like, well, the bear's not a bringer of anything. The bear's going to do what a bear does.
If the question was, Chelsea, if the question was, you personally, who would you rather be alone with, right? A bear or a person, a random person? What would you pick?
If it's a random person, then it can be a woman.
Exactly.
So the odds of me getting a woman to a man,
Yeah,
I'd
it's like
pick
the
the
person.
random,
You
yeah.
pick the person. As soon as you add women into the mix, there is a level of safety there.
yeah.
And instantly the question changes. It is literally women are afraid of men. And it's on a much grander scale than maybe men thought. And that makes a lot of men uncomfortable. And instead of shouting and saying, women are illogical, they're saying the dumb thing, it's like instead figure out the fact that they are in fact very afraid. They are doubling down in the logic because it's a logicless question. It's an emotional
It's
question.
not that I don't understand that women are afraid of men. It's that at the end of the day, I'm looking at this logically. I'm looking for my child's best route to survival because all of these girls in this group, in this comment section, were saying the bear's not going to judge me for what I was wearing. Respectfully, I understand why you're saying that. I get it. I know that. I
No,
know
but it's
people do
silly. It's a silly thing to say.
I get people do terrible things. I get even if you were to come out online with proof that somebody had done something awful to you, guys will still say, or even women say, I've seen it on Twitter, they behave the same way. What was she wearing? What area was she in? The bear's obviously not going to ask that question. I don't care about that when it comes to my daughter's survival. I don't want my daughter to be mauled. Like I told you, I watched that video of the guy being eaten by a bear. It's the most horrific thing I've ever seen in my life. Someone just told me on stream that a Russian woman called her mum as the bear was eating her. Her mum listened to her being eaten on the phone. I don't want that for my daughter. Absolutely horrific. The one thing that I wanted to pull up to show you guys was that a lot of people were sending me stats on the amount of damages that men cause towards women, and there was this one that came up in here. So there was one that was sent to me saying that over the year there's 35 cases of reported violence against women, or domestic violence, or child abuse, or whatever. I think in America, I don't know, or Britain, it was one of them.
How many? Sorry,
35,000. It was just concentrated to one place. I think it was the UK. And I said, yeah, because you live amongst men. If we lived amongst bears, those stats would obviously be skewed. Like if the bear was sitting here now, the bear might be calm. It might just turn to you and slap you and you'll die, right? Because it's unpredictable and you can reason with me. If we get into an argument, you can reason with me. You can see me seething to like kill someone and you can talk to me. As soon as the bear's angry, you're finished. So I was trying to explain to the people in the comment section that, yeah, obviously the stats for men attacking women is going to be high. You live with us. There's pieces of shit that live in our society. You don't live with bears. If we swapped all the men out with all the bears, those stats, no one's going to write the stats. We'd all be dead.
Yeah.
They'd all be wiped out. So they sent me those stats. I found this on Reddit because this is on TikTok. It's spilt to Reddit. This guy said 48 people were killed by homicide in national parks between 2007 and 2023. In the same period, 9 people were killed by animals, 6 of which were bears. So if you are in a national park, you are 8 times as likely to be killed by a human than a bear. I'm guessing though that all of the visitors to a national park saw a human, roughly 40 in a day, but only a fraction saw a bear. If we go by the numbers, let's assume they saw 1 bear in the day. Let's give a figure of 48 to 40 homicides per human encounter, which works out to 1.2. Repeating the same sum for bears gives it 6 to 1, which would be 6, making a bear 5 times more dangerous. So basically what they're saying is that if you take the stats that you've given to all of the attacks that you get in national parks where men are attacking women, they're dragging them off or whatever, and you swap out the frequency of bear encounters with the frequency of human encounters, you'll be disproportionately attacked by bears and killed by them. So he was trying to say that your daughter has a much lower chance of survival because bears are going to kill. Now, obviously in the TikTok, they didn't specify what kind of bear. If we're going black bear, they're aggressive bears, especially like Japanese black bears. Grizzly bears they're in the middle. If they grab a hold of you, you're finished. Polar bears are aggressive.
I mean, this is in the woods. It's not going to be a polar bear.
Yeah, it's not going to be a polar bear because they're in the woods. So it's going to be a black bear or a grizzly bear. Those chances to me are not good. And the question again is, would you, as a parent on the phone, hearing somebody saying, we've got a bear here, they haven't even told you what bear it is. You don't know. You don't even know. It could be a cub, right? So if it's a cub, you get lucky. But you don't know.
No,
if
that's
it's
unlucky.
a cub.
That's unlucky.
What?
The mum is
around the
the
corner.
mum is
Oh,
right
okay.
around the corner.
Yeah.
The last thing you want to see is a fucking baby cub or cub.
So I was asking this question, and all the women that I asked it to, like, I wasn't trying to be insulting towards them as if I don't know that men do bad things. I mean, you guys have grown up with me. You know, I've been the victim of things like violence. I haven't been the victim of sexual assault, but I've been on the receiving end of things before. And I get it. I understand how destructive men can be. But the way that people answered it, it told me that all of the people that answered have had a really bad experience of a man.
Yes.
But your bad experience is not the objective truth. It's not the whole fact of the matter.
I agree with you, except you yourself stated at the beginning of this, showing me this, or me and Chelsea this, that every woman pretty much has said the bear. And that is an indication that every woman that has answered that question has a bad experience with a man.
Yeah.
Making it not an individual experience, but actually an overarching one that is way more prevalent than men are given credit. And I think that's why so many women are in this comment section so upset, because they think that it's beside the point. When you look at the question logically, you're ignoring what is a prevalent danger for us as women, as the weaker sex. When you say the weaker sex, I hope obviously we're talking physically.
I mean, I haven't had any personal bad experience with men, but I've come across some like horrific stories, like with women being alone with a guy, yet alone a child
I'm
being
sorry,
alone with a guy.
you have had awful experiences with men. The stories that I have heard from you, they definitely fucking count. And just because you view them through the lens of, oh, you know, you know, I probably shouldn't have been in that situation, or you take some responsibility. It doesn't mean that the people that were also in those situations with you are devoid of taking responsibility for being in those situations as well. They carry a burden of responsibility too. Just because you're just like, meh, okay, you know, maybe I didn't see it as that bad.
Yeah.
When you were telling me, I was like, if I was in those situations, I would not take it that way. Like, I got mad. Do you see what I mean? Because I'm just like, in no way, like, how are we... Like the Alex Pereira situation, how are we saying that getting into a bed, right, when you've had multiple instances of this girl not being interested in you, right, and you get into a bed naked to try and coerce her into sleeping with you, that is in itself just predatory and just, and those kinds of things are much more prevalent than we think, where men are like coercing, do you know what I mean? And they think that because they're not using their physical strength, they're less of a danger. And it's like, that's not necessarily true. And I think a lot of women have those kinds of stories where they've been in a situation made to feel uncomfortable and almost trapped.
Yeah.
And especially with a man who at their weakest is probably still stronger than you.
Yeah.
You know? So I think even though you're right, and that those specific situations may not have an impact or may not tell the whole story, when every single person that is answering, or every single woman that is answering this question is answering it through the vein of, I have a terrible experience.
Yeah.
And it's a constant thing. Maybe we do start thinking, shit, maybe this is a much bigger social problem than we thought.
So I took what the girls were saying and I wanted to get an idea of how much they were going to stay on that point. So I started making the question more ridiculous. Obviously, this is a stupid question to begin with, because your daughter's not going to be in the woods alone with a randomer. But if we just go based on this, I said to one girl, what if it was a velociraptor? Let's say they call you on the phone. Velociraptors, right? Archaeologists have said that they were hunting machines. They were the greatest hunters in the history of mankind. So I said to her, velociraptor or random man? I thought she was joking. Sent me a voice note, velociraptor.
Yeah.
So I asked her, do you know what a velociraptor is? Have you seen Jurassic Park? She was like, no, I don't know what it is. So I said, okay, you don't know what you're talking about. So I gave her a brief description of it. I told her it's the most dangerous hunter that's ever existed. I said, not only do velociraptors... she picked the velociraptor... Not only will one hunt you effectively...
She doubled the fuck down.
No, she tripled down. Wait till you hear this. And said to her, not only do velociraptors, not only are they the most effective hunters that have ever existed, they hunt in packs.
Yeah.
So if they feel like they can't catch you, they let those creepy sounds out to let everybody else know, I can't catch this guy, we all need to get him. On top of that, they do that thing with their feet, you know, when the SOS bullshit, a fucking animal doing that.
They're Morse coding, dude.
So I said to her, this thing will kill your daughter, and the way it's going to kill it is going to be horrible because they stick their toes in you, right? Yeah. She said velociraptor. So I said, okay. You want to be stupid.
You're like, they stick their toes in you. Bro, men can stick many digits in you.
I'm choosing a man.
Yeah.
I said to her, okay, cool. So I said to her, okay, you want your daughter to come home, right? She's like, yeah, I wanted to get home. So I said to her, okay, let's say that they call you and they are going to release the jungle. They've got the jungle in a cage, a whole jungle. And she still chose the jungle. And I said to her, I'm not going to say her name on camera because she's going to get upset.
Is it possible?
She wasn't trolling me.
Is it possible? Okay.
She sent me a voice and said, you men are sick.
Okay.
And I said...
Okay, this is what I'm saying, okay? Is it possible that she's doing what we did, where when we hear the question, we initially and instantly think the worst case scenario. This is the fucking worst man. It's not just a man, it's the worst man.
Well, why do you think that when you two interact with me, you have your boyfriends, like your dad, right?
Absolutely.
You have a lot of good male figures in your life. So why is it that you jump straight to the really bad?
Awful, right? Because every single good man in our life spends their time telling us to be careful of other men. Yeah. Okay. So that's what's so funny about that. Men, good men like you, when I go out, the first thing you tell me is be careful. You know? Yeah. So, and I know what you're thinking in your head as well. You know, we do have to be more careful than the average person, because yes, you are obviously disproportionately more likely to get mugged, to get attacked, to get robbed, things like that.
But don't go out on your own.
Yeah.
A man can overpower you.
And they actually can.
That's also a man telling you.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Why is it an instant jump when there's an acknowledgement
Because-
that good men
Because
exist?
we've always been told men are bad.
Men are dangerous,
But I'm
even
not
by our
saying,
good
I'm not
men.
saying, Chelsea, don't come in my room. Shit might get peaked for you.
No,
Like,
you never said that, but we don't have that innate desire to fear our own family members. And the funny thing is, Mike, is when you look at sexual abuse and you look at the statistics of sexual abuse, a lot of the time, more prevalently, it's people that you know. It's people in your
but
family.
listen to what you just said. You're talking about sexual abuse here. We're talking about the child survival.
No, I know, but this is where I was leading to when I was about to tell you
They're
about that
all
girl.
talking about sexual
So wait,
abuse. here.
okay, so basically that when we're talking about worst case scenarios, yeah,
Mm.
you're telling me a bear can fucking absolutely tear your shit up. He could be eating you slowly for up to 2 days,
Mm.
right? Now think about what the worst fucking thing a man can do to you. That's the worst thing a bear can do.
You
now
can
what's
say
the worst thing?
I think
You can play dead and the bear might leave you alone. You can't play dead and the man's gonna leave you alone.
The man might rape
well,
your
no,
corpse.
but
Even then,
say-
it's not enough.
No, but let's say, right, because you're equating all bad men, like really bad men, to be rapists.
No,
There could
I'm
be some
equating
bad
men in the woods.
No,
That's
okay.
what I'm
No,
saying.
but
Why is that man in the woods?
This man's been dropped in the woods as well, right? The scenario was being left there.
No, that's not what they said. If it was like just a random man that's also been lost in the woods, that's completely different. The question is, your daughter's in the woods, right? Who would you rather she encounter?
But we don't
A
know why
random
he's there.
bear, right? Or some random man? I'm like, why the fuck is a man there? I
But
know
why
why
is
my
the daughter
daughter's
there?
there. She got randomly dropped there for some dumb hypothetical question.
We don't know how this man got there, right? What I'm saying is that
We're
there are,
assuming.
Wait, hold on. There's bad men, right? There's some really terrible men.
Yes.
We know some bad guys,
Yes,
right?
I know awful guys, yes.
But some of them are killers.
I actually don't.
Yeah.
Well, we know some
Yeah.
people that are killers, right?
Yeah.
They're not rapists though.
No.
So the worst thing they could do to you is kill you. They might kill you and be like, I'm not a rapist. I ain't gonna rape her. I'll just chop her head off, right? But every woman has jumped to, when he kills me, he's going to rape me.
No, because it is a possibility. You're not going to say, he might not rape me. You're going to go worst case scenario for worst case scenario. And if the worst thing the bear can do is fucking eat you, and the worst thing the man can do is fucking eat you, rape you, torture you, taste your toes. I don't know.
But don't
Mixed
you
freaks
think,
do, dude.
don't you,
I don't
okay,
know.
so that's crazy. Don't you think here that if you encountered a random man, let's say it's me, if you encountered me in the woods, I could overpower you, but there's a chance that I could slip up and you can get a rock and smack me in the face. Let's say the bear accidentally doesn't get a full swipe of you, and you pick up a rock and throw it at the bear. The bear's gonna look at you and be like, you dumb.
Why the fuck would you pick up a rock? If the bear has missed me, boy, I'm scarpering.
Well, we know how fast bears are. You're not gonna run away.
I'm going to try.
You're gonna
bear
try.
You're not
climb
going to
trees.
try?
Yes, they could climb.
They're very
If the
adaptable.
bear wants you, it's gonna happen.
It's going to happen.
But once you, I got
Monsters. It
my
needs
my
it.
problem with this scenario is that, and I was talking to my friend yesterday about it, and he messaged me at night time, and he was like, I really hate how immediately we are necrophiliacs,
Yep,
we're
the
axe
worst.
murderers. And he was like, bro, like, if it was my daughter, my wife said that, I'd get my daughter back and divorce her immediately. And I said to some girls on Instagram, you have no survival instincts
Yeah.
whatsoever. Because the scenario wasn't, I don't want this guy to do something to my corpse afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
The scenario was to get out of there.
That's afterwards. There's nothing stopping him from before.
But do you remember that
Before
film?
you're a corpse.
What's that movie? I don't know what it's called, but the girls were hiking in the woods and they encountered this really bad group. It was one woman and two guys, and they raped the girl and they murdered the friend, but she managed to escape and get back to her parents' house. And remember, they told the parents. and
Last
the-
house on the left.
yeah,
Yeah.
And the parents, they came to the house looking for somewhere to
Yeah,
stay.
they-
And now, in my mind, even though this is a grim thing to say, but we're trying to follow this scenario, I'd rather my little girl make it home. Because she can still live her life. She's going to be scarred for life.
You're seeing it as death versus rape. We're seeing it
Survival.
as death versus rape and death. We're gonna pick death.
I'm choosing the one where she has the most likelihood to get home.
I get you, but what I'm saying is if we're picking the worst case scenario versus worst case scenario, which is exactly what we're saying, you're saying the bear's definitely gonna fucking eat you, dude, right? And I'm saying that worst case scenario versus worst case scenario, I can understand why women would pick being fucking mauled to death versus being raped and mauled to death and potentially raped afterwards as well. I'm just like, it's and having your corpse fucking hidden, buried, never found. Like, there's things like that where I'm
I'm
like,
not gonna lie.
there's too much.
If you're gonna
fear-mongering.
ask me about my child being in that situation,
I picked the man.
and there's a high possibility.
I get it, but like logically, it's a split, and I told you this. It is a huge fucking split.
And if we're talking about rape, and that man's gonna rape my child, I'd rather the bear eat her.
But this is the problem in this scenario, right? We don't know where it's going to go. What I'm saying is I hear your points.
Right.
But the
I'd
fact of the
rather-
matter is,
And if we're talking about murder, I still rather the bear eat her.
you'd rather a bear eat your daughter than a man just like
Murderer.
stab her.
Yeah.
You don't know. You're saying, why would someone,
Well, he's in the woods. What
If
else
he's a
is he gonna
sick
smash
little
their face
freak,
against the tree or something?
maybe, but if he's a sick little freak, and this is this one chance with this girl alone in the fucking woods, you think he's gonna make it quick?
I know, but have you
Like,
seen a bear
come on.
eat someone?
I'm just saying, like, look, in fact, you know what, yeah? I started
see
this...
it?
No, I don't. I
No.
started
I think
this
you'll change your
conversation.
mind.
No, I won't, because have you ever seen somebody get fucking brutally murdered and
Yeah.
raped for days?
Not
No,
raped.
that's my point. So I'm sure if you saw a Twitter video of that, you'd be like, holy fucking shit, I might pick the bear.
No.
I would hate for
Alright,
my
alright,
daughter
alright.
to
So,
go through days of being raped and
Worst
tortured by
case scenario,
someone.
you know this man is going to kill your child.
Yeah, you know worst case scenario.
And this bear's gonna eat your child.
Yeah.
Which one are you picking?
I'm choosing the man.
You're choosing the murderer.
I'm choosing the man.
The guy who can pick to kill your daughter as slowly as he likes, can choose to do whatever he wants to her, whereas the bear is probably gonna fucking eat her, as
Oh wait,
like
you're telling me
taking a
this guy
chunk out of
is
her.
a murderer?
Yeah.
He
yeah.
is going
I'm
to.
putting that
We're saying,
scenario.
put yourself in the scenario of how a woman is seeing it. Worst case first, worst fucking case,
Yes.
right? And when you're viewing it like that, you can find that there is an argument for why women, out of fear, are picking the bear.
Yeah, but the problem with that is that if you say to me that the worst case is like a Charles Manson type or whatever, you know, cult leader is gonna rape her, is gonna eat her body.
I mean, he's not even the worst of the worst.
Whatever would be the worst, right? Someone that eats children and rapes them, let's say, and tortures them. If I'm being specific, then yeah, the bear's just gonna eat her. But the problem with this question is that you have no knowledge of it. And my problem with there's a very visceral reaction to
Yeah.
bear straight away, and I'm just like, I get the emotional side, but if you were a parent thinking about it, you're like, okay, wait, I live in a society full of men. There's a lot of shitty ones, but there's a lot of good ones as
Yes.
well. If they are telling me there's a bear, they haven't told me if it's a black bear,
Yeah.
a brown bear, or if this bear is just is on cocaine. You seen that
Yeah.
movie,
Yeah.
Cocaine Bear? They're not telling me anything.
No.
You're not gonna sit there and go, release the bear.
Yeah.
No
I
woman
get
in
you,
her
I get
sane mind would do that. If you told
I
the
understand what
woman,
you're
we've
saying.
got the most disgusting human being
Yeah.
that has ever existed, because he's also intelligent, so he's
Yeah,
gonna hunt her.
exactly. That's what.
Then I
scary.
would say, okay, they've given you specifics, but on a planet with 7 billion people, they've told you 700-pound killing machine,
Yeah.
or just that we don't know who this guy
Okay.
is, and you
Alright,
you
fair
say
enough.
Yeah.
you say
Yeah.
bear, I'm gonna look at him and be like, when we get our kid back,
Yeah.
you're up.
And to be fair, like even with the bear, it could accidentally kill you. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to want to kill you.
Yeah.
It can literally just sit on you, and by virtue of it being fucking 600 pounds, you're
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
And I guess I think the whole point thing here is that there is yet again an emotional argument and a logical argument. And I think that women are way more likely to think about the question emotionally, and men are way more likely to view it logically, considering that next to a man you have way more of a chance than we do. Whereas when we see that question, we see a no chance scenario versus a potentially other no chance scenario
Yeah.
with a far greater chance of harm.
I can sympathize with the emotional response, because when I ask guys about women in this like dating scenarios, they
Yeah.
always reply, "Well, they're all bitches," and blah, blah, blah. They've had bad experiences with women.
That then they understand. They're like,
or
yeah, I
even
get
the
that.
Alex Pereira video, there were some guys that were messaging me saying, "This is ridiculous, this is dumb," because they probably feel like they might have been accused before and they hadn't done
100%.
anything.
I can-
And even I had to say to me to relax, because
Yeah.
there's multiple situations here. So I get it when women immediately react that way, but logically speaking, you could remove the bear.
Yeah.
You could say gorilla. Gorillas are smart.
Oh,
some-
no, I'd pick the man.
Yeah, I'll definitely pick the
Because
man.
the gorilla gets a hold of you.
look.
And the thing is, I said to this girl, what if it was Caesar from Planet of the Apes?
No.
He was very upset.
Nah, the
He was
man.
very upset at humans, and she chose Caesar, and I
I'm
was
sorry,
like,
but literally, this is why this question annoys me, and I don't like answering it, because I know in my gut I do have two answers, and logically,
what, to Caesar?
no, logically, right? I'm thinking logically, of course, I'm gonna pick the man.
Yeah.
I walk past hundreds of men I don't fucking know every day, right? Yeah, so I walk past like hundreds of men every day that I don't know, and not every single one of them, none of them have caused me any harm. The most I've got is some looks, you know, that maybe I'm just like, because I don't like that Do you know what I mean? And I understand that not everyone is the same. A girl might walk past another guy, you know, or group of guys checking her out and feel very confident and comfortable in that environment and not feel any type of way or unsafe, you know? So I don't know, maybe it's the way that we are brought up and how we are internalizing news and the advice of the peers in our lives, like the male peers, like when they tell us, you know, do be careful.
Yeah, a lot of people responded. There was like 40 responses, and I kept on changing the question just to get an idea of what they thought, and I was getting more and more extreme, and it got to the point where I was like, the people replying to me have definitely had negative experiences with men, because when I have this same conversation with men, but about dating women from certain places, their responses are ridiculous. Just because you've dated 20 women that are terrible doesn't mean that all women in Miami, for example, are bad women. So I had this conversation. Some people got very upset about it. Some people engaged with it, and there was a bit of a laugh and a back and forth. All of the guys, every single one, apart from, I won't name him, I'll tell you who said it off camera. I said to him, bro, I won't say what I said to him on camera. It wasn't very nice. But all of the guys said there's absolutely no chance. And so I said to the boys, what if it was Brock Lesnar? He's violently gay. He wants you. Brock Lesnar's faster than you.
Violently gay.
Yeah. Brock Lesnar wants you, and he will catch you. Right? He can jump.
Brock Lesnar.
He can jump higher than you. He's stronger than you. He's faster than you. He's more athletic. He's got more endurance. And they're telling you on the phone, your little girl. You are going to get released into the forest. Now we've changed it from the little girl.
Yeah, I love how you're like, I'm putting myself in this.
Yeah, because I'm not fucking. If someone told me Brock Lesnar is a bisexual man, and he's violent, and he likes taking people's asses, and we're releasing your daughter into the wild, then obviously Brock Lesnar is basically a gorilla. I'm gonna say, obviously, I'll take the gorilla. It might leave him alone. He's not going to. But I asked the guys, would you rather be in the woods with a bear or Brock Lesnar? And they were like, Brock Lesnar, dude. Like, because the thing is, if Brock Lesnar, if he grabs a hold of you, you're likely gonna die. But he's got a temple. He's got balls. You can kick him in the balls and start running.
Yeah.
Try kick a bear in the balls. See what happens. Try find him first of all. Try look for his temple.
Rude, dude.
Huh?
That's fucking rude.
How's it rude? So that's my stance on it. I don't think everybody that said to me, bear. Initially, I said to all of them,
A bear has eyes.
Yeah, I said to all of them, you have zero survival instincts, and I still stand by that. I don't mean it as an insult. It is what it is. If you're choosing a Velociraptor over a man, I gotta look at you sideways.
That's
like
crazy.
We're not choosing that.
a Velociraptor. You know, I changed the conversation again. I said to her, a pack of Velociraptors, because if they're gonna get her scent, even if she gets away the first time, it's coming back.
Yeah.
She still chose the pack. So I was like, you don't like men. That's it.
I think you're right. I think there's probably like a lot of women that have definitely had very bad experiences and hear that question, and it's probably really annoying, and I don't know, for both sides, isn't it? It's probably extremely annoying for men to have to hear the illogical response.
Yes.
But again, it's also annoying for a woman to be like, we're always constantly told that men are the danger. Can you understand now why, when we're asked this stupid question, we give you an illogical response? Because we have essentially been reinforced into not thinking logically about this.
Men are the danger, but they are also the flip
The
side.
potential, the potential.
So I'm not saying that men are not dangerous, because when we walk around this area, I drive everywhere, right? I don't walk around here. I understand if I'm going to get attacked, it's not going to be a pack of girls. Going to be a pack of guys. So I know as well that men are also the danger, but I know the flip side of that. I know that I exist, and there's other men with my personality type. So when someone tells me, when they present me with this question, I don't jump to the emotional thing where this guy could be gay and he could be violent, he could mutilate me and also rape me. But I'm thinking to myself, it's a bear.
That's so niche. Like, you've got it's kind
niche.
of incomparable.
It's niche.
Like when you say the guy has to be bi or gay.
No, I'm making it specific so that I would move my position.
I totally get that, but it is obviously like the chances for you to be in that situation are far smaller. You know, the LGBTQ community is, you know, as large and as loud as it is, it's still a minority. You know, so the chances of you encountering a gay man that's violently that's violently gay and the size of Brock Lesnar wants to rape you, it's like, do you know what I'm saying? Whereas we've been taught men are fucking animals, dude. They'll fuck anything that moves, and historically we've seen that. I've seen that.
But I've been taught the same thing. I understand not to walk around on my own. I understand not to go to certain areas. I tell the boys as well, if we're going out to a specific place, don't go there. If they say to me, oh, we're going to go look for video games, I'm going to say bye. Do your thing. But it's not going to be girls that are going to shoot me. It's going to be guys. But I know that because I'm one of the guys saying, oh, I don't want to go there, there's plenty of other guys that are rational as well saying, we don't want to go there.
No, I get that.
So
totally.
When it comes to how are you weighing up the odds? Yeah, the worst thing that a man can do is probably worse than what a bear can do. It would be hard considering the video that I saw. The top what that bear did.
But you've not seen the flip side. Like,
I've been on the dark. I've been places. I've seen things. I understand. People can do heinous things. We watched Hostel, right? I'm sure people do shit like that. I get it. Guys can do horrible things, but it made me think, wow, if women think of us like this, would I choose a bear or a woman? Because I'm going to be sleeping in the woods and she's going to think I'm going to kill her. She's going to kill me.
Genuinely? That's a much better question.
Yeah, that is a good question.
Yeah, because if all the women think that I'm going to kill her,
that you're the
and
danger.
rape her,
Exactly.
she's the danger.
Exactly. She's waiting for you to fall asleep.
And she might be good looking as well. She might seduce me and be like, oh, you're all good, bang. Yeah, like, so I started thinking, I was like, wait a second, because if I think someone's a danger and I'm alone with them, I have to eliminate that threat, right? That's how, if you're in the apocalypse.
Killed or be killed.
Yeah, if I think you're a threat, I've got to kill you. Or at least incapacitate you. So if you think I'm the danger, and no matter what I say or do, you don't trust me, you're the danger.
You know what, yeah? Do you know what's mad? Is that even if that were true, and I was in that situation, I'd probably just sneak off in the middle of the night.
Yeah, you might.
Yeah, I'm such a coward. I don't think I've got the guts to kill another human being.
I won't.
You see, yeah, you kill you. First people kill them.
You know what, yeah, I fully believe it.
But judging from the responses I got in this initial video, these women would kill me.
Bears are no joke, one of the most vicious animals on the planet. The other day I watched the most intense bear fight and they fought for at least 15 minutes. I really hope he means in person.
That would be cool. A human at best
would last 10 seconds.
Not if you wouldn't last 10 seconds. If a bear hit you at full power around the face, you'd be lucky if you weren't
dead.
I'm completely
dead.
fucking
Look how
disfigured.
small I am. My head will be off.
Look at this one. Wait, where is it?
I've seen a few women say that they would feel safer with a bear than a man, and I roll my eyes every time.
Yeah, well,
He would as a man.
when
He
we
would.
told Mum was like, "What?
Yeah.
I choose the man."
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, actually, when I asked the older women, they all said men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The younger girls were saying bear. I did notice
This
that.
is how men are portrayed nowadays.
Yeah, it's true. The portrayal of men is really taking a dive.
But I actually forgot to mention this in the video. I asked girls in Japan, girls from my other YouTube account, and they all said they would choose the man. All the girls from the West, all the girls in the comment section, all the girls on my Instagram, they said the bear. So I was wondering...
Does Japan... Okay, I'm going to frame this in a way that may get some people angry, okay?
I think we've already pissed off.
Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry.
I'm not sorry.
If the West is known, right, for a very specific kind of brand of media and content, and Japan really isn't, I would argue that Japan isn't seen as a country that has a toxic masculinity problem, whereas I think a lot of people would categorize the West as having a lot of that, like the gym bro mentality. And I don't look down on gym bros. They do what works for them, you know. I just don't like when other people start to look down at each other. It's like everyone takes different paths and we will do what works for us.
Do you know one thing I've noticed about... I know this conversation is going to change slightly, but do you guys follow Joey Swole on Instagram?
No.
I've heard of him.
He's the guy that's like, he's like the gym messiah. Like, if people do something bad in the gym, the videos get sent to him. I shit you not, you can look on your phone now. 90% of the videos that get sent to him are women doing shit things to people in the gym. Abba and Preach just did a video on it today. These girls were in the gym. There was a girl showering. These girls took out their phone, recorded her, put her on Instagram, and didn't cover her up.
Why?
They sent the video to Joey Swole. Joey Swole got in contact with the gym. They were banned from the gym, and now there's a criminal investigation.
But why would you do that? I don't understand.
They were laughing at her. Do you want to see the video? It's really disgusting. They cover the girl up.
Yeah, please. As long as they cover her up.
Yeah, she's all covered up in it.
Jesus.
It's really bad.
How old are these girls?
Yeah.
They look like they're in their mid-20s. So Joey Swole's covered her up, but this was on Instagram, butt naked, and they put their free shot. That's the whole video.
That's so bad.
If you go on
That's
Joey
so-
Soul's Instagram, right, majority of the videos sent in are women. The guys are in there, but there's guys that get sent in, don't get me wrong. But majority of them, and there's another guy that does, he doesn't do call out videos, but people send him stuff. Majority of them are women.
This is really like mean girl,
Yeah.
fucking bully culture. Like I don't
Yeah.
understand.
But do you see what
why.
I mean? This whole like gym bros are. I'll tell you now, I've been going gym for how
I
long
guess
now?
to be fair, when I say gym bro,
Hmm.
I guess you can be a gym bro and be a woman.
Yeah, you can be a gym bro and be a woman. But for as long as I've been going to like a proper lifters gym, they're the nicest
They're
guys.
so
I don't know what they're
respectful.
like in
It's
their
so
personal.
true.
Yeah, I don't know what they're like in their
Yeah.
personal life. But you guys, your sister, she goes to the gym
In
all
the
the time.
gym, they're so respectful.
So respect. You go to like a commercial gym with hoodlums. It's
Very different.
Yeah.
But you go to a proper lifters gym where the guys are actually there trying to look after
Definitely.
themselves and they're looking at themselves in the mirror. They're not looking at you.
And they're always so down to help you as well, like genuinely help you,
Yeah.
not just like trying to get your number. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'm not saying bad things don't happen in the gym. I saw a video of he wasn't actually someone in the gym. He managed to get into the gym and harass this girl.
Oh no.
And I've seen guys doing shit things, but I haven't really seen them doing shit things to women. I've seen them doing shit things to other
Yeah, I
guys.
know.
But the abundance of videos that come in are women doing really bad things to men.
But I guess if you're a man and you're filming yourself doing like shitty things, you may film yourself doing shitty things, but you're not going to film yourself committing a crime. Like a lot of the time, like harassing women and stuff, that can sometimes in these circles be crossing a line,
Yeah,
like
100%.
social media wise. So
These donuts
maybe they're
kill
more.
themselves.
I know, but maybe they're more like careful about filming themselves doing things to girls.
Oh yeah.
You know, even if
Yeah.
they might still do those things to girls. They just
Yeah, and
don't
I'm
film
I'm
it.
sure it happens, but my problem is like even if it was still disproportionately men,
Yeah.
even if it was, which I don't think it is, they don't cover this in the mainstream media. You have to find it on Instagram and Snapchat and all of these content creators. I found that even my experience in the gym, I remember I was in the gym and this girl pulled out a video and immediately I tried to hide away because a lot of the videos that they do, they'll pull their camera out and you're just like looking around the gym because you're on the cross trainer, you're bored. You glance over at her, she puts the caption, "He's staring at my bum, blah, blah, blah." I'm not staring at your bum, I'm just looking off into the distance, mate. You're just there.
I'm not being funny, yeah, but I actually don't have a problem with that. Okay, and I think the reason why is just because as a woman, right? I don't know about you, Chels, but I'm fucking awful. Like,
With?
gonna have to out myself here. I think I'm the biggest pervert.
Oh
you just stare
God,
at
yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
stare.
I do.
But like, if a woman has a really nice body or a
Yeah.
guy has a really nice body, you're like, shit. Like, you know, you admire it and then you move on.
Like we've done that. We've
Yeah,
you know, I'm like, oh my God, look at that girl.
ass. Like, oh my God,
Yeah.
her legs. You know, it's admiration.
Yeah,
But
dudes
I
do it in the gym as well to other
exactly,
dudes.
and to other girls. And I don't think that's a problem. But I think that there's a fine line between what women see as a man admiring a person's physique and their work and them perving. I
Yeah.
think as soon as your eyes linger for longer than that specific person is comfortable with, which is completely fucking subjective, you know, you're instantly a pervert to them. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
even if it's literally just you're in a fucking bodybuilder's gym and you looked really good, like you look like you put in the work and you look like you belong here. What is so wrong with showing that admiration?
Dude, I saw this 16-year-old boy, right? He's built like a tank that goes to the local gym.
Yeah.
And he was deadlifting. I was looking at that. I was like, holy shit. And after he finished, everyone in the gym was like,
Yeah.
'cause he lifted and he was stronger than,
And it's
he's
such a
stronger than
nice
me.
community as well.
But the
like,
same situation happened with a black girl, right? She was lifting a lot. And I was looking, I was like, holy shit. And I said to her, oh, sick. And I clapped and she gave me a dirty look. And I was like,
what the fuck?
I'm just praising you. What's your problem? They've got a chip on their shoulder. And all the videos that I see coming in, it's always, this gotcha moment. This dude in the gym was staring at me, this, that, and the other. I'm always like,
I do
"Can you
think
just
there's
relax?"
a level of ego as well, where I think like it works both ways, isn't it? Where like you see a guy with a big ego and it might give you like the ick a little bit. He comes across maybe Chad like, but then you get the fucking you get them in equal amounts in women,
Yeah.
where you assume every fucking glance you might get that is literally a fucking second. Guy's probably just staring at, you know, what are you lifting?
Yeah.
Or, oh, are you almost done with the fucking, you know, are you almost done with the dumbbells? But everyone always attributes a single stare as, oh, he's totally into me.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's got to be such a high level of fucking ego
Yeah.
that you can't for a second think that he's looking past you. He
I
has to be
also-
looking at you.
This whole thing where like Chads or Giga Chads are bad in the gym. There's a dude that comes to the gym. He's clearly stronger than everyone else. Whenever he sees us working out, he'll come over with a bigger weight and stare at it and smile. And we just laugh. It's like,
Yeah, it's
he's
just jokes,
much
man,
stronger. than
yeah.
us. I grabbed one side of the pole, and this other guy about my size grabbed the other side, and he started benching. And he got up and he was like, "You wish you were built like me." And he started laughing. We were laughing
It's
with
just
him.
funny though.
But if I guarantee you, that black girl that goes to the gym, if he did that to her, she would have taken offense. I'm like, just lighten up, man. He's just
Yeah.
fucking about. Like,
I've
he's
got
not
this
hurting
old
you.
guy who actually stares at me in the gym.
Yeah,
and the first couple times he was just staring at me, and I was like, to the guys, I was like, he keeps looking at me.
Yeah.
And then the third time I went back and I'd upped my weights, and he came over and he's like, "Oh my god, you've done really well in the
That's
last
so
couple of
nice,
weeks."
man.
So I was
That's
like,
so
you know
nice.
what? I didn't even take it like, oh, he's
Yeah,
looking at
exactly.
me. I'd noticed he was looking at me, and I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
You know?
That's so nice as well.
I think
'cause
people
so
are
meet
too
people.
uptight, and
Yeah.
you because of the culture that's been cultivated on Twitter and YouTube of like gotcha moments and that
Yeah.
everyone feels like they need to do these stupid things. I'm like, people in the gym just trying to have a good time, man.
Literally.
If it's a lifters gym, chances are you're okay at there.
Yeah.
They're not gonna bother you because that's like their home. They're in
Yeah,
there.
it is their
24/7.
second home.
Yeah.
Literally, I know a lot of like gym goers that do see it that way.
Yeah. Not to say there are. I've met dickheads in the gym that are gym bros. Like there was I'll never forget him. He was an Italian guy. He was such an asshole. Would not leave people alone. He did the exact same thing this other guy does, but he did it maliciously, and you could tell. So I'm not saying that there's not nasty guys in there. I'm not saying there's not guys in there that don't harass girls, but
You get them both. I'm sorry, it's on both ends.
Yeah.
the way they portray
yeah,
it, it's
they
nonsense.
heavily portray it as very male heavy.
But do you know?
And I don't think that's
Do you
true.
know what really pisses me off? These girls that come in the tightest,
Yeah.
little, tiny
They
top,
can see
it's
the outline of
see-through.
your pussy.
Yeah.
It's see-through. You clearly have a fucking camel toe, and you're gonna complain when a guy.
I know,
looks at
because
you.
I've looked at it.
Yeah.
Like,
How are you gonna
That's so-
complain when a
Me,
guy
a
looks
woman.
at you?
Yeah, if I can see your lips, then yeah, I'm gonna glance over and be like,
You
oh,
know?
Of course.
that's tight. You
Yeah.
know?
I don't really know what they want. I mean, if you're gonna, it's not a case of oh, what were you wearing? But It's
Yeah.
also a case of if I'm walking around with my balls out, you're going to look.
Of
Bro,
course.
it's not even about your balls. Let's not even say. I'm not going to convolute this. I'm not going to like your balls are out. You're not. They're not even out. I've seen men wear really tight budgie guys, like you know the budgie.
Can you hear that?
Sounds like. And
What was that?
something gonna blow up in your room.
It sounded like my computer was dying. Anyway,
Yeah, I've seen like men wear really tight, like you know the budgie, what are they called, budgie chokers. I think they're called the speedos.
Oh.
Where everything is just there. Oh my god. Fucking women are awful. The biggest prevalent situation here is the Olympics. That fucking French guy.
oh,
His
Big dick
only, bro, his only crime was having a big dick.
Yeah.
Like, leave the point alone, dude.
everybody was saying, bro, you lost, but you won.
Dude, he came away with the first prize. What do you mean?
Yeah, I felt bad for him.
I felt so bad for him. Like, I don't know. It's just so uncomfortable when you're that person that everyone's talking about. Like, you make it to the grand fucking stage. You're one of the best athletes France has to offer. And the whole world can't stop talking about your dick.
Yeah. It is what it is. I'm sure that he will leverage this into a W. If he's
It already is a huge W for him. To be
yeah.
fair.
Just jump on OnlyFans, man.
No, that's not the answer. You can't. OnlyFans not the answer to everything.
It is for him, dude.
Maybe him.
He's
But
got to jump.
In it.
any closing thoughts?
Not all men are bad.
Not all men. Not all men.
They're gonna say
Yeah.
that you've been hanging around guys too much.
Yeah.
Patriarchy got you.
No, man. I just think patriarchy hurts you and me, right? So let's just. Yeah, I know.
Discussion for another day.
Well, I'm
Sometimes
saying-
we shouldn't think with our feelings.
But yes.
Yeah.
But always, or sometimes, the best way to get to the best answer isn't necessarily by thinking logically, but also just empathizing for
Yeah.
why the person might feel that way.
Yeah,
It creates a bridge for actual conversation, like what we have just done.
but I can talk to you because you guys are family. I can speak to you guys about uncomfortable things because you know I'm not a pedo rapist murderer, right? But
We
when
know who you are.
when you have these
We fucking know.
when you have these conversations online, like, look at this stupid response I got from this one. Why would you want a little girl in the woods with a random man? They said, why would you want a little girl in the woods with a random bear? I said I wouldn't want a little girl in the woods, period.
Literally.
And then the dumbass deleted their comment because the comment they sent me was it would be an insult like you saying that. Now this person doesn't know me, but they called me an insult already. So you can't have these conversations in the comment section
literally.
because people in the comment section are they're there to troll you. They're just there to attack you.
Even that, like, no one would ask the daughter what she was wearing if she got attacked by a bear.
Look at this one. Bears are not killing machines. They don't kill humans often. Men, however, even though we've pulled up stats,
Yeah.
even though the stats presented to me are skewed because you're not looking at the fact that we don't live with bears,
Yeah.
you still get people saying the bears are killing machines. If a bear wants to kill you, it will kill you. And they kill indiscriminately. I don't know where you got this notion that they don't.
There is obviously a clear problem with the way that women feel unsafe, maybe inherently, around some men.
I can acknowledge that.
Yeah,
I
think
not
that's
when
the
people
main-
don't think rationally.
Yeah, I think that's the bit that's missing now. I think it's a bit of give and take, in it. A bit
Yeah.
of the women turning around and saying, you know what, we understand that despite the fact that, you know, we may feel afraid, there is a logical answer and an emotional answer here.
Yeah.
And we want you to emotionally understand why we may pick the bear,
Mm-hmm.
but logically we can understand that we walk past hundreds of men every day
Yeah.
that don't hurt us.
Yeah.
And logically that would be the best answer.
Yeah, it's the same argument when you get these neighborhoods that are like, we don't want the police here, but as soon as something happens, call the police.
Hello?
Like, you need a.
Yeah.
I had an argument with a girl. That was one of the other questions I was having, where she was like, I said to her, you live in a neighborhood where they've kind of like basically abolished the police system. This is like around the George Floyd situation. She said, yeah, and I said, but if something goes wrong, who are you gonna call? She was like, oh, we've got a neighborhood watch.
Ghostbusters!
I was like, neighborhood watch? Are you fucking stupid? or
Neighborhood
something?
watch.
Anyways,
Neighborhood watch.
yeah, I think that's it. I
Yeah.
think we covered it.
Right, peace out.